Now for the centerpiece, I'm using some of these new placemats they have at the summer section at Dollar Tree. These like giant Monstera leaves are so cute. They're glossy on one side and like kind of a matte finish on the other side. So I actually ended up using mine kind of upside down here for the centerpiece because I think they look a little bit more like a leaf without that shiny texture on them. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to kind of have them at an angle like that or if I just wanted them straight. I don't have a lot of room for a centerpiece, but I have enough room. I just went ahead and kind of sandwiched them together like that with the opening in the leaf so they kind of spread out each way and we can start working on our centerpiece. For that, I'm using one of these large jars from the Dollar Tree. It's a really nice size for a centerpiece. And I thought I would just cover it with one of these Dollar Tree bags in a tropical pattern. It could really be anything. We're going to go for like bright colors, but we're also going to have a lot of greenery like this as well. And so I thought this would be a really cute little touch. I'm just going to cut the fabric to cover the outside of the jar to make an easy vase. It's going to take that Dollar Tree jar and just make it look way more high end. I just went ahead and cut out a strip of it, and then I should only need like one piece of this. One mistake I did make here was trying to kind of like even up my lines here. I cut it a little shorter than I intended, and it wasn't quite long enough to go all the way around it, but I still used it. I'll show you exactly how I fixed that problem. I'm just hot gluing the starting seam there and just simply wrapping it around. I'm lining it up with the bottom of the jar, and I made it a little bit taller than it needs to be so I can kind of wrap it around inside the jar. That's when I realized it was a little too short. I did hot glue that end down, and then I'm just cut another little strip there, and we're just going to kind of patch that. It's just going to have like a seam, and I just made sure that that was kind of on the side where it's not real visible, and I kind of make it as skinny as I can. So I probably shouldn't have straightened up the seams there. I think it was plenty long enough without that. But just a fun idea of how you can decorate the outside of your jar like this to really make kind of a custom luau vase. And I have just enough material to wrap it around inside, but I also need to use some hot glue to kind of make sure it stays. And so I just kind of work one section at a time, tightening it in there. And I want it to look like it's draped in fabric, so I don't mind if it has like any folds or anything like that as far as this goes, but it just kind of gives it more of a finished edge here on the top. And we can fill this up with a floral arrangement. So this is what it looks like so far. Super cute. And again, you could use like bright colored bags or fabric as well. I'm going to go ahead and put some foam in there because we're going to be attaching flowers, and we're also going to be attaching a pink flamingo to this. I thought that would be fun. I know that flamingos really aren't Hawaii themed, but they go so well with the tropical theme that I went ahead and included one. So I just cut some of these squares down to size so they'll fit in there. I did one kind of on its side for some height, since this is a pretty large jar, and then one sideways like that. For the flowers, we're actually going to be using this hibiscus garland. I think it looks so tropical and pretty. That bright pink color is going to go great with that pink tablecloth. But I actually want to be able to use those as flowers in the display, but I also want to use the greenery on there. So I just kind of use some of my extra foam pieces to fill that area up so I don't have like a huge area to work with. And I just start winding the leaves in there. As I get to a hibiscus flower, I just go ahead and remove it. I'm going to attach those a different way. But I just wanted to kind of fill this up, make it look like a plant at first. And then I kind of like the idea of leaving the last two hibiscus on there so I can kind of wrap it around the jar like that, kind of cascading around. So I just went ahead and snipped the little circle that's on the end of these. They're so pretty. And I actually have some fresh ones out in front of my house, but I didn't want to pick them. They're so pretty. So I found that toothpicks work perfect for this. I have some like flat toothpicks that are flat on one end, and they fit perfectly in there, and I just use that as a little tiny pick to go into the floral foam so I can arrange them. And who knew, toothpicks for floral picks. So I went ahead and arranged 3 in there. The other 2 will be cascading down the side, kind of like that. And I think that's a really good start for the centerpiece. We're going to have really fun place settings with this as well. So I don't have a lot of room there, but enough definitely for what I'm making here. Now here is the pink flamingo I promised you from the Dollar Tree. Just one of their pink flamingos. I'm not going to do anything to it. We're just going to go ahead and attach the metal legs. And that's one reason I wanted the foam to go all the way down in the jar, so I have plenty of room to attach this little guy. And I think he's going to be a really fun touch for the top of the centerpiece. So I just put him through the leaves that we already have in there and down through the foam. They're a little tricky to adjust these, so with a little bit of wiggling, you can get it just about the way that you want it. But a little easy fun detail to kind of make this like centerpiece really special. And kind of arrange my flowers here exactly how I want them. I'm going to be adding more flowers to the bottom as well to really make the centerpiece pop. And we're not just doing the table today, we're doing lots of other Luau DIYs as well, so be sure to stick around. Now here is another one of the hibiscus garlands from Dollar Tree in the yellow. So I thought that would be a nice fun color to attach. I just cut the little circles off the end. I'm not a big fan of those if I'm not needing them to hang. And I'm just going to circle all the way around and just kind of let these sit kind of cascading on their vine like that. And I love the yellow contrast against all of the pink that we have going on so far. And we're going to be adding other colors to this as well. I wanted to use really bright colors, pinks, yellows, blues, and greens. So I think that looks really cute. So that is our centerpiece.